with training camp on the way, officially about a month from beginning here for the Seattle Seahawks, and mandatory minicamp, OTAs, rookie minicamp officially in the books, we have a lot to discuss, a lot to talk about, some takeaways, but more importantly, I wanted to break down a couple of players that I think have positioned themselves to potentially break out in 2024 for the Seattle Seahawks. So, with that being said, that's what we're going to do in the video. We're going to break down a couple of players who have done a really good job, impressing the coaches and really putting themselves in a position to have a massive 2024. Now, before we jump into the video, I want you guys to comment down below a player or two players that you think could break out in 2024. It could be a rookie, it could be a second-year player or a veteran, someone they just acquired. Who do you think has the potential to absolutely exceed every single expectation and become a massive player for the Seahawks in 2024? Let me know in the comments down below. But with that being said, let's kind of dive into the video. Now, one of the biggest, takeaways in my eyes from, the first phase of the offseason was hiring Mike Macdonald. Now, the reason I thought this was going to be a massive acquisition for them is because of what he does on the defensive side of the football. He turns defenses into some of the best in the NFL. And we've kind of, saw that play out in Baltimore over the last two seasons, always having some of the best secondary play in the NFL. And I think he's going to come in here to a team who already has some insane potential defensively in that secondary, right? You have Michael Jackson, you have, Tariq Woolen, you have Devon Witherspoon. Not only do you have two really good safeties in Rayshawn Jenkins and Julian Love, we also have some depth as well. Trey Brown, Kevon Wallace, Kobe Bryant, Nehemiah Pritchett, DJ James, two Auburn boys, Artie Burns. I mean, dude, this team is really, really deep in the secondary, and I think they're going to be massive next year under Mike Macdonald. And that was something that really stood out during all of mandatory minicamp is, they couldn't be happier with the effort, with the contribution, with the way that this secondary was playing defense. I mean, they were playing insane, sticky type of coverage, getting some PBUs, getting some interceptions. I mean, these guys, before taking the 6-week break before training camp, put in work. I mean, these dudes were nasty. And even Mike Macdonald came out and said, dude, they were better than I thought they were going to be. This secondary is going to be scary. But what's interesting in my eyes is something that is so underlooked. When a secondary is really, really good in the NFL, there's always something that is that stands out, right? The front seven, the guys who can get to the quarterback. The most important thing in the NFL, right, football, is protecting your quarterback and getting to the opposing quarterback. When you can create pressure on the opposing quarterback, you can create one of 5 possible things that can happen, right? A bad throw, a bad decision, an interception, a forced fumble, or a sack, right? Now, I think the front 4 job with, Leonard Williams and the Jerron Reeds and the Draymond Jones, Boye Mafe, Uchenna Nwosus, I think those guys are going to make the secondary's job so much easier. And again, this defense is probably one of the most underrated in football right now, and I think they could be the best in the NFL with what they brought in as a head coach, but also, more importantly, just the overall talent that they have on the football field. Even Byron Murphy as a backup defensive end or tackle, whatever you want to put him in, right? I mean, it's going to be insane, right? But not only is the defense looked insanely good for the Seahawks, but also there's another guy starting to stand out as well. Actually, a quarterback. Before we get into that, I want you guys to do me a massive favor. Hit the like button just so we can get this video out to more Seahawks fans around the world. But more importantly, subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. And we're going to be covering the Seahawks throughout the entirety of the offseason. All of training camp, all of preseason, all of regular season, right? And once the season does kick off, we're going to be breaking down film. With the All Coaches 22 film, we're going to be breaking it down, showing you what's happening, when it's happening, why it's happening, everything. Defensively, offensively, I am so excited to dive into the film of Seattle, man. I think they're an up-and-coming team. I think with a new coach, some new players, I think they're going to be really good, man. But with that being said, let's kind of dive back into the video. Now, a quarterback that's been looking really good is Geno Smith. Now, obviously, coming into the offseason, Mike Macdonald specifically said, listen, we're going to have an open battle, right? Because coming in from a new team, you don't know what guys can really do. You want to see while you're there, right? So I think it was smart for him to come out and say that. Doesn't make Geno Smith think he has the job, making these guys compete harder and harder each and every single day. But to be quite honest, Geno Smith has once again proven, yeah, I'm the guy. Right, I'm the guy. I'm the best one in this locker room in terms of the quarterback position. I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna do what it takes to win this job. Now, as Geno Smith was really good, I think Sam Howell had really good days and then really, really bad days. I think during mandatory minicamp, which I believe was just 3 days of practice, maybe 2, they might have been one of the teams to cancel one of the practices, but Sam Howell actually had a bad day during mandatory minicamp. Threw 3 interceptions during 11-on-11s, including back-to-back picks as well. So listen, you look at this team, you look at the quarterback room, Geno Smith is overall the best player in terms of talent, leadership, and everything, right? And I think that's something that you can just feel when you're out on the practice field observing practice, and that's kind of what the media said, right? That's what the reporter said as well. So I think in terms of Geno Smith and what he's done so far to kind of regain that starting job, it is something that you love to see. Now, while he has been breaking out, there's been someone breaking out with him offensively, and this is going to come to no surprise, but a guy who could definitely take over this receiver room next season in Jackson Smith-Njigba. I mean, guys, this dude has been one of the most fascinating prospects I've seen in a long time. And you look at the slow start from a rookie season last year, and then is starting to get into what we envisioned he was going to be. And right now, he's looking like not only a breakout candidate, but someone who can just take the team and run with it with this wide receiver group, right? I mean, dude, he has been the star of camp. I mean, he had a couple of days where he had multiple touchdowns. I mean, the separation ability, insane, right? The catch radius, unreal. I mean, the practice habits, the work ethic, everything, the movement, everything you see out of JSN, just elite type of stuff. And Mike Macdonald was saying the same type of things during camp as well. So, man, as Geno Smith is starting to break out, so is JSN. Definitely excited to see his growth over the next couple of weeks. Now, something that maybe I'm not concerned about, but something I'm questioning right now is probably the offensive line. Now, I think they have some really good guys here, right? You talk about a guy like Abraham Lucas and Anthony Bradford, Charles Cross, and Lincoln Tomlinson, and, Olu as well, the former 5th-round pick. I do think they need a sense of development in this room. In some of these positions, some of these guys need to continue to get better. I think the right side of the line is probably the most questionable right now, but we'll see what's going on, man. Second-year center Olu is working with the first team. It looks like he might have, overcame Nick Harrison, just won the starting job so far, right? Again, once the pads come on, we're going to know a lot more. But I'm very curious to see how this offensive line plays out and who really starts to break out this year for that group specifically. We talked about the defense. I haven't really mentioned the linebackers, but obviously bringing in Terrell Dotson, bringing in Jerome Ford, those are 2 guys they have high hopes for. But someone who's being talked about, a lot, but not getting the recognition he deserves in terms of talent is John Radigan, man. John Radigan is, he's very unique. He's very, very unique, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's a guy that stands out to them throughout the entirety of the offseason program and actually works his way up the depth chart to be the number 2 guy, right? Maybe not a starter, but the next guy off the bench. I think that's how good he has looked. The speed, sideline to sideline speed, underrated to be fair, right? The zone coverage ability, but also can come up in a double mug look and get pressure on the quarterback, but also can stay man covered with a running back and tight end at times. I think this dude has some versatility. I think he's bringing a new dynamic, and I'm excited to see how he can continue to develop going forward. But pretty much, guys, this team looks way better than I thought they would at this point. And again, take everything with a grain of salt, but Mike Macdonald has made sure these guys are in perfect position. There is a couple of other ones who have looked really good as well, but this video is already about to be 10 minutes long. So with that being said, I'm going to end it here. If you guys want a part 2, comment down below part 2, okay? And I'll make sure to drop another video. I think I have another 5 guys that I think could break out again. Not again, but break out next season. If you guys want the part 2, comment down below, hit the like button, subscribe, join the family, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next Seahawks video. Peace.